All right, ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying that if you know me, you know my love for a certain NFL team. You know, the one thing that I have in common with my man Philly Jim right here is the fact that growing up, there has been one voice that we have listened to each and every Sunday calling the Philadelphia Eagles. And I would be remiss if I didn't say first and foremost to that man right there, Blue Hawks 13, thank you, John Shear, for making this happen. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you to this man. He is
it
amazing.
is an honor and a privilege to welcome the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, the one, the only, Merrill Reese is in the building. Good
Hi,
evening, sir.
how are you?
Oh, your voice just gives me chills.
Oh my
I'm just letting
god.
you know off top.
So many memories, man.
It
So
brings
many
me back to
memories.
all the Super Bowls, man. Like, oh man, it's so
Well,
amazing.
it's not that many. There were two that didn't work out so well, and then there was the third one in February 4th, 2018, and we're hoping there is
Yes,
another one
sir.
ahead. But I'm not giving you any percentages, and I know that they still have four regular season games remaining, and then the playoffs, and the playoffs are a different animal. When people say, "Do you think they have a 50% chance?" I said, "I don't know, maybe." And so does everybody else going into the playoffs. Right now, I am not even thinking. And I know you're going to ask me about this. I am not
No,
even thinking about the Dallas Cowboys. I am thinking
nope.
about one thing: Sunday at Soldier Field.
Yeah. Merrill, you have traveled the world, my friend. You've seen them all. You've seen so many great quarterbacks come and go, not just from Philadelphia, but from other teams as well. You've called numerous games. Like if someone told me there was another voice before you, I'd have said you're lying because for 45 years it has been Merrill Reese. So
Actually 46.
okay, 46. My apologies. I'm off by one.
I was
But
five. I was five when I started.
listen, speaking of Chicago, here's what we know. This is, as you said, any given Sunday, you're walking into Soldier Field, a team that is beginning to develop, a team that is beginning to find who their identity. So, can you just speak to your thoughts on the matchup this week between, and I still call them my team, even though I don't play. I'll hold a clipboard or water bucket anytime, but our Philadelphia Eagles, sorry, John, and the Chicago Bears.
On paper, it shouldn't be much of a battle. The Eagles have 12 wins. The Bears have three. But these games aren't played on paper. I mean, you saw the Cowboys last week almost, almost should have lost to the one-win Texans, but they didn't. They snuck their way out of it. You saw this team have a battle and had to work to get through Indianapolis, who isn't that good. So you just never know. But the Eagles are certainly the superior team. I like the Chicago quarterback. I do. I think Justin Fields is going to be a very good one. Right now, he emphasizes his running ability, but he has a cannon located on his shoulder, and it's just a matter of working and doing some of the same things that Jalen Hurts did to become a polished passer.
hmm
James?
So, Merrill, you're speaking about how Jalen Hurts has put in the work, and you've been covering this team for as long as you've had. You've seen a lot of quarterbacks play. So, what I'm wondering for you is, how surprising was it to see this much of a progression? I think some people expected Jalen to be better, but he has taken like a huge step forward. So did you see this coming? And in all your years of covering the team, have you ever seen another quarterback or any player take as big as a leap as we've seen from Jalen Hurts in 2022?
Actually, no, but I have to tell you something honestly. From the time Jalen Hurts was drafted, I was thrilled. I watched him at Alabama, I watched him at Oklahoma, and I believed sincerely that he had a tremendous ceiling. And last year, a lot of people who are now in the Hurts camp were saying, well, I don't know if the Eagles have a franchise quarterback. You have to wait and see. I didn't have to wait and see. When I saw him originally, I loved his arm. They were saying he has modest, there was a column about his quote, modest arm strength. There is nothing modest about his arm strength. It's a flick of the wrist and that ball goes any place he wants to. Now, did he have to work on mechanics last summer to become a more polished quarterback and a more accurate passer? Yes. So he went out to California and he worked with one of the quarterback gurus, and he became a more polished quarterback. But here's the thing: I'm a golfer. That's my off the air passion. And once upon a time, there was a legendary golfer, the first to win the Grand Slam. I know you all know the name Bobby Jones. And Bobby Jones said something. He said the most important 6 inches are between a golfer's ears. And the same can be said of Jalen Hurts. Yes, he improved his accuracy. Yes, he improved his ability to read a defense. But what he really improved was he puts in hour after hour after hour in that building studying. And now when he comes to the line of scrimmage, he knows what to look for. And his decision making is so quick that it gives him time to set up and make the right decision. That's what it is. It is between here and here. And this guy is a brilliant quarterback.
Absolutely.
So, Merrill, you've seen arguably the birth, if you will, of the mobile quarterback. You know, we can take it all the way back to Randall. You saw it with Donovan. You saw it with Michael. And now you're seeing it with Jalen. What is it about the black mobile quarterback, especially with Philadelphia, that they are able to have success where other quarterbacks just don't seem to have those successes?
Well, because it's not just running. It's not just being a running quarterback. It's first of all, it's being a smart quarterback. It's being a quarterback who can see all of these things. All right, you talk about the other quarterbacks. Donovan McNabb, if we look at the record book, Donovan McNabb owns almost every passing record in this franchise's history. He took this team to 5 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. And I still believe that if Donovan McNabb had another shot on that day at the Patriots, he might have won it. But that he was, a lot of people blame him for not winning that Super Bowl. I guess it was 29. To me, Donovan didn't win it because his offensive line did not give him the time. They had a red carpet to the quarterback while Tom Brady could have stood back there all day and read War and Peace and still had time to pick out a receiver. So Donovan was a great quarterback. Is Donovan as electric? Is he as quick as Jalen Hurts? I think he was early in his career, but then he didn't want to be identified as a running quarterback. He wanted to be a pocket passer, and he gave up some of the things he did really well. But Donovan was a great quarterback. Now we talk about Michael Vick, who I still think is the best spinner of a football I ever saw. And I became a big fan of Michael Vick because I'm a dog lover. And when Mike Quick mentioned one night at a preseason game, the Eagles just acquired Michael Vick, I said, "Oh no!" Up here, because I love dogs and I know what he went through with the charges and the prison time. But I got to know Michael Vick that second year, and what I found out was there is a guy who is one of the best human beings you'd ever want to meet. He paid his time. He grew up in that culture. He didn't decide that this is something that I can do to be mean to animals. This is what he grew up with. But he started going out to animal shelters, to talking to kids about, really repenting, really making amends. Michael was a terrific player and a terrific human being. I mean, if I saw Michael today, we'd hug each other because that's how much feeling we have for each other. But I want to tell you something else.
Sure.
Michael Vick's best years were early as an Atlanta Falcon, and during his prime, he spent 2 years away incarcerated. So we never really saw him here at his peak, but he was a marvelous, marvelous talent. And then you talk. Well, let's go back to the other one. Let's go back to the other gifted, brilliant athlete, Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham, and I love Randall. Randall's a wonderful person too. But Buddy used to say, "Go make 3 big plays a game." Randall was not a studier. Randall was not somebody who would spend every spare moment in the film room. Randall was a gifted athlete. He felt that he could show up and let his instincts take over. Here is a guy. Doug said, Nick, Doug is in Jacksonville. Nick said yesterday, he said, Jalen Hurts is in this building all the time. Morning, noon, night, Tuesday when the players are off, he's here. I always kid and I say his hobby is football. His profession is football. His hobby is football. Everything about Jalen Hurts is football. He is one of the most dedicated people I have ever met. And this is what is making him great and will continue to make him even greater. The ceiling, again, is way up there. I mean, we don't know. I don't want to start saying he's the greatest of all time or the best Eagles quarterback of all time. But I'll tell you what, the way he is tracking, nothing he achieves will surprise me.
That's high praise coming from a man who, like I said, 46 years you have seen all quarterbacks, all coaches, but you have been a staple in the Philadelphia Eagles organization. I'm just going to say you right now, Merrill, between me, you, and this show, tell Mike Quick I'm coming for him because I'm going to be real. One of my dream jobs is to call a game alongside you. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. If it comes back to fruition, then let's do it. But I have listened to you. I know James has as well. And I know John from time to time has.
A million times.
You bring such an energy to every game. It doesn't matter whether we're up by 20 or we're down by 14. The moment I always say we, I know I don't play on the team, but as Philly fans, that's what we do. We've embraced this. We love this. When something is about to go off, you can just hear it. There is a different inflection in your voice. And I have to ask you, as many games as you've seen, how do you keep that energy so new, so fresh each and every week you call a Philadelphia Eagles game?
Do you know what? I'm nervous every Sunday morning. I get up nervous. If we're home, my wife Cindy makes me a big stack of pancakes because she knows once I get to the stadium, I can't even look at food. And when we eat in the hotel on Sunday morning in Chicago, I'll have my big stack of pancakes because they'll hold me over. But I am nervous every single week. And the reason for that is I study so much during the week. I have my cards right here at my desk. I have my notebook. I'm writing things. I have all my information. It's a lot of work during the week. And it's almost feeling like you're studying for the most important final in college that is going to make you determine whether you graduate or whether they flunk you out. I feel like that every single Sunday. And I feel that way. You're not going to believe this. I feel that way before a meaningless preseason game because I love it so much, because I care so much. And when you care about something, you feel nervous. I guarantee you could take the greatest athlete the best quarter. You could take Tom Brady, who's won 7 Super Bowls. I guarantee you he is nervous before every single game. And that nervousness translates into excitement. Now, once the game begins, once my producer, Joe McPeak, cues me and taps me on the shoulder and I come off with the opening, it all goes away. And for the next 3.5 hours, I feel as if I am floating. I truly do. I feel as if I'm in another zone. I'm not nervous. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. I am just reacting, watching and reacting. So I appreciate your kind words, but it's nothing that I do on purpose. It's just me reacting to what I'm seeing. And I love what I see. I love football so much. I love NFL football. I love college football. I mean, I could be driving home and the lights are on the high school field and they're in the third quarter of a game and I may get out and just go watch the rest of the game. That's how much I love football.
Love it. So, Merrill, I just want to ask, since you've called so many games, do you have a favorite moment
Sure,
in Eagles history that just stands out the most to you or
of course.
means the most to you?
Oh, that's the easiest question I've ever received. It's February 4th, 2018, when I stood there, and you talk about nervous. I am in the corner of the end zone at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. They give us the worst seats sometimes in these new stadiums because they take the best seats for super boxes and things they can sell. And I'm in the corner of the opposite end zone. In other words, I'm 110 yards away from where that pass is going to land. 110 yards away. And I'm not worried about the Eagles winning because I'm not rooting as I go along. I'm describing, I'm working. I'm worried about being the announcer who's going to blow the end of the Super Bowl. So Brady starts up and he starts to trip and then he loads up and he goes deep. And don't forget, the Eagles weren't up by 7. They were up by 8. So they've got to score and they've got to convert a 2-point conversion. And plus, I really didn't think Brady had the kind of arm strength of an Aaron Rodgers who's a master at throwing that Hail Mary. But somehow or other, as he let go of that ball and it soared through the air, to me, it became like one of those NFL films where you see everything in slow motion. And it all slowed down for me. And I saw it bounce off the hands of the players and hit the ground. Now, during the week, Paul Domwich of the Inquirer and Daily News did an interview with me, and he said to me, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, will you have a call all planned? Will you have something written down that you can say for the ages? And I said, no. If that happens, I just want to react naturally from the heart, whatever comes to my mind. And all I could think of is that ball bounced onto the ground, and I looked at it and I said, the pass is incomplete. The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Then I thought for a moment and I said, Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. And then let the celebration begin. And that
I
was,
still,
and you know
I
what?
still got goosebumps.
Well, you
We're
know what?
talking 5 years later, and I still get goosebumps when I hear you say that.
Well, Angelo Cataldi, who does the morning show on WIP, and for years, I'll go on from time to time, and he always said, I want them to win a Super Bowl for you because you've been through so much and you've never won a Super Bowl. And I said, you know what? I've had so much fun. I've had miracles of the Meadowlands, 2 miracles of the Meadowlands. I've seen Mike Quick take a pass from Ron Jaworski and go 99 yards. I've seen so many great things for so many years. I want them to win it for the fans because the fans are they're the ones who sit there in rain, snow, sleet, watching good teams, bad teams, mediocre teams. They're the ones who sometimes take out second mortgages to buy season tickets and sometimes spend their last dollars to get their kids' Eagles jerseys for Christmas. They're the ones who deserve the Super Bowl, the Lombardi Trophy. And I felt that way before, and I felt that way at that moment, and I'm thrilled that they have it.
When
That's amazing.
when you guys won that Super Bowl, the first thing I thought of was actually you, because of all the calls I've listened to you, you're so passionate. All the times I've listened to you on the radio, you're so passionate, and I thought of you when you guys won that because I was like, man, again, like Eric said, you you care about it so much, and I just thought, like, I'm so happy for you that you get to see a Super Bowl. You've called so many games, you've been with the Eagles for so long. It was so great to like get to see you enjoy that. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
How, like, and I don't ever want you to retire because, like, I'm a
I'm
selfish
not.
person.
Wait, before you,
Like,
I
how
have
long do you think you would want to go?
no,
Because
forever until they
forever.
remove me. So they send up a crane there that fits around my neck and they lift me out of the booth. And I'm
Love
on
it.
the mic yelling, I'm not going. I won't go. I won't go. So I have no plans to retire. I love it more. Listen, I love to play golf. I'd rather do this than play Augusta. So that's how much I love it.
Somebody like you, I love that answer because I love the game of football myself, but I also love announcers. I love radio announcers because they have these distinct voices that that you really like Vince Scully. Like you're the Vince Scully of the NFL. To me, you're like the Vince Scully of the NFL. Like that voice just it just resonates. And so yeah, I respect the hell out of you. And thank you for your time, by the way, tonight. I just wanted to say that from my end, even though I'm not an Eagles person, I grew up here in PA, so I've heard you a million times.
Are you
Before we let you go,
are you a Steelers fan?
No.
no,
No. Hold on.
No,
Let
he's
me
a Dolphins
show
fan.
you.
We're not even
Dolphins
diehard
Okay.
Dolphins fan.
All right.
Diehard.
Good.
Okay, before we let you go, because I need it in threes tonight for whatever reason. One time, can you please just do it in all of your splendor when you say the lights are on, the stage is set? I just, that to me, there is no better entrance when listening to a Philadelphia Eagles game than to hear you say those words. I'm ready to run through a wall. I am that every Sunday anyhow. You can ask my entire family. Like, just being completely transparent, we play our hated rivals on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And my wife is considering canceling it because she knows that I'm going to be in a mood on Saturday. And I'm like, no, I promise. My mother-in-law is coming, who I love to death. My father-in-law is coming. Him and I can sit and watch the game and we can talk. I'm going to try and be on my best behavior. But if you could, just one time, I need that for me. That's an early Christmas present. I'm asking for it. And
Well, I don't
you.
want to tell you. I will tell you one thing. The only thing I write, the only thing that isn't scripted, well, there's two things that aren't scripted, that are scripted. One is my open, and I try to keep that fresh. And about 10 minutes before I go on the air, I handwrite an open so that I don't stumble around for the opening of the game. So, I mean, I've said things like, the sky is gray. The sky is the gray sky is December serious as the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'll find something that has some real heart in it and I'll scribble it down. And the only other thing I write is the closing so that I give the credits and say, Mike and I will see you next week. But everything else is ad lib. So I don't know what I will say this week in Chicago, but it will probably have something to do with us being very, very cold.
Facts. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, what more needs to be said? The voice of the Philadelphia Eagles for 46 years, the man who is not going to retire. And I'm going to say it again. Mike Quick, your seat is hot, my brother, because I'm coming. I'm letting you know right now. If you guys can squeeze me in for a game, let me know. I'm on the first thing smoking. I will stay with Philly Jim. And, that is just amazing. But
Mike is one of the best you would love. Mike is one of the best people you'd ever want to meet. Mike is the thing about people talk about Mike and I being a pair and comfortable. Well, we're friends off the air. We're guys who go to each other's family affairs. We're guys who play golf together numerous times in the off season. We're guys who talk on the phone 3 times a week. So, and we're just friends, and I'm glad that comes through. Mike's one of the best people I have ever met. He's one of my best friends.
That's amazing. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles for 4.5 decades and going strong, the one and only, the legendary, the icon, and a man whose voice is clearly undefined, Mr. Merrill Reese. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Happy holidays to you, sir. Merry Christmas. And I know you're not going to say it, but I'm going to put it out into the universe. I'm going to see you in Arizona come February.
Yes.
Well, that's a nice thought. I hope that is the case, but the only thing I can promise is that I will be in Chicago on Sunday, at Dallas the following week, and at home to do a game against the Saints and the Giants, and hopefully home for the very first playoff game, because only one team will get that bye and the home field advantage throughout. And from there on in, anything can happen.
All I've asked our team this year is 2 simple things, Merrill. I said, be consistent and beat the Cowboys.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, they beat them the first time.
Fair enough.
Do you have any organizations you would like to promote before you go?
Yes. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Your radio station or anything of that nature that you would like to promote?
Well, if anyone wants to I don't know if you know about this, but Glenn Macnow from WIP is a co-owner of something called Conshohocken Brewery. And this year they came out with a beer called Merrill and Mike. And then it says Philly Special. And well, and I don't even drink beer. But all of the proceeds go to something called First Tee. And as I said,
Oh,
I'm
yes.
a golfer. And the First Tee promotes golf for the young people in the inner city so they can be exposed to this wonderful, wonderful sport. So if anybody wants to give a donation, they can give a donation to First Tee or to the Eagles Charitable Foundation. But other than that, I want to thank all of you because it's been a pleasure sharing some time with you. And now I'm going to, after a day that began at 6 o'clock this morning with a radio report, go take up my easy chair, turn on the fireplace, and watch the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers.
Who's your pick tonight, Merrill? Who you like?
Seattle.
Ooh.
That's a good.
Yep.
That's a good
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Merrill, thank you so much. It's been truly a blessing.
Thank
Happy
you, sir.
holidays to you, your beautiful wife, Cindy, and your entire family. I know you wrote a book in 2010, and I do appreciate you doing that as well. It's been an awesome, awesome night. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for your time, Merrill.
Great holiday.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.